Hello everyone, here we go again in another book review for this new channel I'm doing to try and log my thoughts and log my ideas and the novels I've read and novels I'm going to read, and just a place to have conversations about these books. The one that I've read the past week there, past few days anyway, is Michael Moorcock's Corum, The Prince of the Silver Hand, which is actually book 4. There's 3 books in this collection. The Bull and the Spear, The Oak and the Ram, and The Sword and the Stallion. I read the first one there, The Bull and the Spear, which is really the 4th book of the Corum sequence of the Michael Moorcock's Corum. Sorry, I can't speak. Corum. Of Michael Moorcock's big, massive, epic fantasy Eternal Champions series, which is loads of different characters and different sci-fi, fantasy, horror, all that goes on and on. There's loads. It's like an idea he's used, and it's worked for him. It's some great characters, and this guy is probably my second favourite of all the Eternal Champions. First being Elric. Yeah, I think he's the best for me. But Corum's, he's definitely my second favourite. But with this book, the strange sort of start was talking a bit about the first trilogy, and the themes I got in this was like sadness and how times change, and how his love, Ralina, I think her name was, from the first trilogy, she grew old, but he didn't, and she passed away. I don't want to ruin anything, I'm trying to make it spoiler free, but she passed away, and it's all about him trying to see what to do with himself, and he doesn't know what to do, but he doesn't want to lose hope. He doesn't want to kill himself because he thinks it would not be good for her memory, so he sort of lives on for her, but then he's getting called from people from a different time in the same plane, so it's the same planet, but it's like a millennia in the future. And then he goes there and pretty much is their hero and has to save them. And it's given him something to fight for again, a bit of hope. But there's also a time theme mixed with it too, because it being the same place, it's like everything's changed. Cancelled my video there, so hopefully edit them in together again. But as I said a minute ago, everything's changed, and it's all about how he sees, was there any point in him fighting? Was there any point of him saving the world, and for everything just to go bad again? That's an RV sort of theme. It's like, why is he the Eternal Champion when it doesn't even matter? It's like, what was the point? And then because times made everything doom again, and doom and gloom. But then he realizes when he meets these people, it's the human side of it too. Even though he's not their sort of race, the Mabden, which is like humans, he still loves them. He loves this girl again. I don't think he loves her like Relina, but it just shows that there's hope there. So that's the hope comes back, and there's a great bit in it where he meets this dwarf character, even though he's massive, which is a bit mad like, but he meets this dwarf character that's massive, and he pretty much tells him, and there's no hope. What's the point? There's no point anymore. Doom and gloom, pretty much what he was feeling in the first part. And then he says how things have changed. He turns around and says, it's in my nature to fight for even the last hope. And that's him. Even though everything's hopeless, it's in his nature that no matter what, he's just going to keep going. And I like Corum for that. Corum, he's not as hopeless as like Elric was a good character, but he's more, what would you say, like in himself, very depressive and all, and you know, he's a different character. I like Corum. Corum's good too. He's definitely the second best in my opinion. As I say, it's a good book, but the only bit downside about it is, for me, if you've read lots of Michael Moorcock novels, as a uh, you're not getting really anything new with it. This, The Bull and the Spear, it's what you know what you're getting pretty much. It's fast paced fantasy action, but written well. It's written very well, like, but it's only what 100 and this first novel, 150 pages in this publication, and then you're going on to book two and book five and book six, and then it finishes his whole sequence. But it's still, if you like Michael Moorcock, you've gotten this far. It's a good read, but this is not the place to start. If you know what I mean, you can start with Corum, but start with the other novel, which just I've read before. That's why I'm not reviewing it, because I've read it a year ago. But definitely start there with these suggestions. But I recommend picking him up. He's a great writer, short, fast paced. There's themes in it. It's not just plot driven. They are there if you find them, and the scenery, he's brilliant at writing scenery and all. And there's a couple of returning characters in this. I don't want to mention it. There's one that came at the end I thought was pretty good, cool, like, but I'll not want to say too much. But that's, yeah, Corum. I'm logging my thoughts here. So it was a good read, and we'll move on. I'll maybe read the fifth book maybe next month or the month after. But I want to show, if you're still watching, still learning all this, still new to this, trying to do this with a phone. But I've picked up books from a used bookstore, and I was quite happy to find these two. Jack Vance, which I've never read before, and I don't know the cover. I know a lot of people might not like these old covers, but I like them. I think the old covers are far better than the new covers nowadays. Even though he looks a bit mad, like his nose there is fucking nuts. Like I don't know, a big tree man. It's crazy. You don't get covers like this anymore. And look at this, which is even mental. I got it in a second-hand bookshop, and it's dearer now than it was when it was first published. I know time changes the economy and changes money, like, but 30p? Fuck, I wish it was still that now. But £33 couldn't go wrong. We used bookstore, and then I found this one as well, Jack Vance again. The Grey Prince, which I'd never even heard of before. Love that cover. See, when I see a cover like that, I'm just picking it up. It's just, I can't say no. My favourite sort of books, we shorter ones. Hopefully there's a bit of themes to it. Again, £D. Yes. If you've read it, or if anybody's typing this in and they see, let me know what it's like, because these are books I'm going to probably read here very soon. And I got another one. And he gets a lot of bad abuse, this writer, nowadays in the modern fantasy world. It's very good kind. Now, when I got this, I knew it was not book one, but I couldn't help it. I seen it was £3. And again, I loved that cover. And when I went to another bookshop, which it wasn't a used bookshop, I seen this. I thought, well, I've got the second one. Book problems, I can't read it until I read the first. So I picked up that one. And I know that this guy gets a lot of abuse and a lot of hate nowadays, but to be honest, I don't judge anybody until you get to really properly know them. And he's not done it. He maybe said things and all that, maybe pissed a lot of people off and gets a lot of hate. But I didn't know the man. The man, if you get to know him, he's maybe a great guy, So I'm not judge his art for that. For a few things being, it wasn't like he was out doing anything crazy, it wasn't hurting anybody. People have their opinions, people can say things, and as long as they're, I can't read a writer if I know he's say, I don't know, done something really abusive or something, or he's just not a good. You don't want, his morals aren't there. You just know that deep down he's not a good guy. It's hard to write, or you can't really start reading all their backlog and think, oh, this guy's brilliant, even though all writers are flawed, and usually the best ones are. We're only human beings, but I don't think this guy should be getting the hate that he gets in the fantasy reading world. I don't know what it is. But here, maybe I'll read it and it's rubbish, and I'll say, right, he's not a good writer, but I'm going to give him a chance. The only problem I have about picking this up, and it's, I used to love reading these big, massive fantasy novels, spanning series, nearly 1,000 pages and all. But you see, since recent memory, or recent years, I don't have the time as much now. I have other hobbies and kids and all that, and working full time. You know, I mean, I can't really sit and read a big book like that in a couple of weeks, which I used to be able to do. It takes me a bit longer, and I usually get what's the word? It kind of makes me. It's not stress me out, like, but it's like you're like, I could be reading other things here. I could be moving on, but I'm only in 300 pages of this, you know, and sometimes that puts me off reading these big novels now. Like, I've read all the Malisans and George R. Martins and Brandon Sand. I've read a lot of all that stuff, but I just find me more going back to these shorter fantasy books, or picking up more literary novels with themes, and you know, it's a bit more human because it's short and it's an art form. But I know this is just full escapism. Like, it's not. It's just, this is an escape, and I might read this over December because I have finished that the night. I was thinking about jumping onto this. I don't know. You'll maybe see one shortly. But yeah, that's my book review. As I say, I'll give Michael Moorcock. You might see more review. I might even, if people are interested, and I get more than a couple of subscribers that I have at the minute. But if people are interested and they want to have my thoughts of other Michael Moorcock novels, write in the comments. I'll even reread some maybe again, just to do a short review. But it's just to get conversations going, and it's for me to log my thoughts. Because I've read, as I say, these Michael Moorcock books for years and years and years, and there's some there that I could go back to, because my memory's a bit hazy with them. And I have a few here unread still. So, yeah. Maybe dragging on this video. I need to try and learn how to edit 2 videos into one, so that's going to be fun. Other than that, all the best.